Okay, let's unpack this. For anyone keeping a close eye on the housing market, especially in a dynamic, bustling place like the Greater Toronto area, the latest numbers from August have, well, they've thrown us a bit of a curveball.
They really have.
Just when some felt a sense of predictability returning, the market decided to remind us it's always shifting.
Absolutely.
We've got a stack of fresh reports right here from TRAB, various economic analyses. And our mission today is really to distill what this unexpected shift means for you.
Hmm.
We're going to dive into the core sales figures, the subtle but significant price movements, and crucially, what underlying forces are influencing these trends right now. Sort of cut through the noise, give you a clear picture.
And what's truly illuminating here, I think, is how the stability of interest rates, rather than a clear up or down trend, is creating this unique market tension.
Stability causing tension. Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive. It's simultaneously encouraging sellers who've maybe been on the sidelines to finally list their properties.
Okay.
But it's also empowering buyers, maybe making them hold out for what they hope will be even better deals down the line. It's a subtle driver, but a powerful one for this August dip. It's definitely shaping a new chapter for, one of Canada's biggest real estate markets.
That's a fascinating starting point because it immediately sets up this paradox, as you say.
Okay.
Let's jump straight into those headline numbers because they really do tell the initial story.
Right.
The core data point from August 2025 is pretty unmistakable. Home sales in the Greater Toronto Area declined. Now, this isn't just another dip. It's significant because it marks the first decline we've seen since early spring.
That's the key.
It broke that brief upward trajectory we were seeing. Across the region, 5,633 transactions were recorded.
Which sounds like a lot, but context matters.
Exactly. Our sources indicate this is a noticeable step back from the sort of recovery momentum we'd been tracking since March. And when you look at the seasonally adjusted figures, sales actually fell 1.8% month over month. Might sound modest, but like you said, it's the direction that matters here after several months of increases.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, you're absolutely right. This probably isn't just a blip. Could signal a pause, or maybe even a more fundamental shift in the modest recovery we've been observing. I mean, for context, the GTA market has largely experienced, pretty slow activity since late 2022.
Right. It's been sluggish.
Exactly. While we saw some, green shoots of recovery in the spring and early summer, August decline suggests that upward path wasn't as solid as some hoped.
Yeah.
This 1.8% monthly drop, especially coming after 4 consecutive months of gains, makes August performance particularly noteworthy. It signals that those underlying pressures are still very much at play, preventing a sustained rebound. The market isn't just continuing upward, it's reacting.
Reacting to new challenges. So we've seen sales dip, a clear sign of a cool down, but the reports also highlight this crucial dynamic around what's actually available in inventory and how prices are responding. What did you find there?
Well, yeah, the sales figures are only one side of the coin, right? The reports show a clear ripple effect on prices. The average price across the GTA saw a slight dip to, $978,100.
Still a huge number, but downwards.
Still substantial, absolutely, but a direction grabs your attention. And the home price index, which, gives us a more accurate measure by adjusting for types of homes sold.
Right, adjust for the mix.
Exactly. That dropped 0.1% from July. Small movement, but it reinforces that cooling narrative.
Okay.
More tellingly, perhaps, TRREB also reported the average sale price in August was down a more substantial 5.2% compared to August last year.
Wow, okay, year over year, that's significant.
That year-over-year comparison really illustrates the erosion of some of the value gains we saw in previous cycles.
And it's not just prices feeling the pinch, it's also about the sheer volume of choices suddenly appearing. Our sources show new listings in the region rose significantly by 3.9%, hitting 15,730 in August.
That's a lot of for-sale signs popping up.
It really is. A lot of fresh inventory.
Indeed. And this substantial rise in new listings, combined with softening sales and those price declines, it raises a critical question. What does this mean for the practical reality of buying and selling right now?
Yeah, what's the impact on the ground?
It absolutely reflects a significant shift in negotiation power. When supply increases like this and the pace of deals slows down, it fundamentally changes the landscape. It's different from the heated, hyper-competitive conditions we often associate with Toronto.
Very different.
More choices typically empower buyers. They're not scrambling anymore, making snap decisions or getting caught in those crazy bidding wars nearly as often.
Right.
Instead, They have more time to consider their options, do their homework, their due diligence, and crucially, they have more leverage to negotiate on price and terms. We're seeing fewer rush purchases, more considered decisions.
That's a huge shift from even just a year or two ago. So for the everyday buyer, this means maybe a less frenetic experience, less
Yeah.
stressful.
Potentially, yes. Less pressure cooker.
Yeah.
But for sellers, what's the implication of this sudden flood of inventory?
Good question. What does it mean if you're trying to sell?
Well, for sellers, it means they might need to adjust their expectations, perhaps quite significantly. The market isn't guaranteeing those quick sales or multiple offer scenarios anymore.
Right, those days might be paused.
Properties are staying on the market longer. Pricing strategies become absolutely paramount. If you overprice your home in this environment, even by a little bit,
It just sits there.
it can just languish.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which might ultimately force deeper price reductions down the line anyway. We're kind of returning to a market where presentation, staging, strategic pricing, they're essential again, not just list it and hope for the best.
Back to basics in a way.
It's a return to more traditional selling conditions, which, yeah, for some sellers might feel like a bit of a shock after the last few years.
That's a great practical insight into how these dynamics play out. Okay, these numbers paint a clear picture. Market's losing some steam. But the real deep dive question for us is why? What are the underlying currents shifting things right now?
That's the crux of it, isn't it? The sources seem to point to several interconnected factors. One of the biggest, as I mentioned earlier, seems to be the steady Bank of Canada interest rates.
The stability factor again.
Yeah, we often focus on rates going up or down, right? But the stability we've seen recently, rather than any big cuts, it's creating this unique kind of holding pattern. It's a curious paradox.
How so?
Well, on one hand, some potential sellers who might have been waiting for rates to drop significantly, maybe to make their next move or for a larger place,
Yeah.
they seem to be saying, okay, maybe this is the new normal for a while, let's just list now.
Okay.
And that contributes to the surge in inventory we just talked about.
Ah, okay. So stability for sellers means action, finally list the place. But for buyers, it's the opposite. Is that what you're saying?
Precisely. For buyers, that same stability, combined with the increased listings and those slight price drops we mentioned, it's emboldening them.
Making them feel more powerful.
Exactly. They're seeing more options, less competition, and it's leading to a wait-and-see attitude. One really striking observation from the reports is that, quote, buyers have an advantage, but many are waiting for steeper price declines.
Ah, okay. So they sense the shift, but they think it might shift even more in their favor.
That's it. It's this fascinating psychological element. Buyers aren't feeling that intense fear of missing out, FOMO, anymore.
Right.
Instead, they're experiencing what some economists call FOBO, the fear of overpaying.
FOBO. I like that. Fear of overpaying.
Exactly. They believe the market might have further to fall, so they're quite content to hold out for what they perceive as an even better deal. This could be delaying transactions for weeks, maybe months. It's a significant driver of the current market's subdued pace.
That wait-and-see attitude, or FOBO, that sounds potent. But what's the actual tipping point for those buyers, then? What specific signal or policy shift would actually move them off the sidelines? Is it just about rates dropping a bit, or
Yeah, or is it prices?
a certain percentage dip in prices? What are they waiting for?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it really speaks to the underlying uncertainty. For many, it's likely a combination of things. A significant sustained dip in prices, maybe another 5–10% from where we are now, that would certainly make a strong statement.
Okay.
But critically, it's also about a clear signal from the Bank of Canada. If the BOPC were to definitively signal a sustained easing cycle, meaning further rate cuts are actually coming.
A clear signal, not just stability.
Right. That would likely unleash a wave of pent-up demand. The current stability is, well, it's a double-edged sword. It offers some certainty, sure, but it's not the certainty of lower borrowing costs that many buyers are really waiting for to significantly improve their affordability picture.
Gotcha.
Without that clear signal of lower rates coming, many will just continue to believe that patience will be rewarded. Keep waiting.
That makes perfect sense. And that brings us nicely to what's on the horizon. Industry figures are already weighing in on this delicate balance. Jason Mercer, the chief market analyst at TRREB, he indicated, and I'm quoting here, if borrowing expenses continue to decrease, more potential homebuyers are likely to enter the market and make use of the current ample housing inventory.
connecting those dots.
It really highlights how interconnected everything is, doesn't it? How much hinges on those borrowing costs.
Mhm.
The sales decline and price pressures we're seeing, they clearly point to ongoing, persistent affordability challenges in the GTA.
Still a massive issue.
Absolutely. Still a barrier for so many trying to get into the market, even with these slight dips.
And this really just underscores the critical role central bank policy plays in the housing market. I mean, not just in Toronto, but right across Canada.
Yeah.
The anticipation around the Bank of Canada's September 17th decision is, well, it's enormous.
Huge. Everyone's watching.
Everyone's watching. A resumption of easing, so if they actually start to lower rates, that could certainly improve market conditions and, maybe most importantly, affordability.
Could unlock things.
Could unlock things. Our sources suggest economists are, well, somewhat divided on whether a rate cut is imminent or if the bank will continue to hold steady, given some of the mixed economic signals out there.
Right. It's not a slam dunk either way.
Not at all. However, any move towards lower rates would immediately reduce mortgage carrying costs. That could make homeownership more accessible and activate those sideline buyers we've been talking about.
The FOGO crowd might jump in.
Potentially, yes. So this decision, September 17th, it's a really significant marker, not just for Toronto's housing market, but for the Canadian economy's broader direction. It's going to directly influence whether this affordability challenge eases or, frankly, intensifies, and how quickly those buyers waiting for steeper price declines might finally decide to make a move. It's truly a key date to watch.
Absolutely. It feels like more than just a housing story. It's a significant economic inflection point, as you said. What about the flip side? What are the broader implications if the Bank of Canada doesn't ease rates on September 17th? Or if they suggest, a longer holding pattern? What then for Toronto's market and these affordability concerns?
Well, if the bank holds steady again, or indicates, a prolonged period of no rate cuts, we could just see a continuation, maybe even an intensification of the current trends we're discussing.